Hey, how are y'all? Let me cut that off. I need to catch me up. How is everybody? So today we are going to talk about the documentary on Showtime called "We Need to Talk About Bill Cosby" because we do. It was so good. My name is Diamond Styles, and I go live every week at 7 o'clock. Hey everybody! Hey Stephanie! Hey Kay! How are y'all? Every week on Fridays at 7 o'clock. Sometimes I go live in the middle of the week if I'm bored and unbusy. But usually Friday at 7, unless I'm traveling during that Friday or something like that. God's coherent creation. Come on now. Hey, Marissa. So, not sure if anyone else cable provider has all four parts on demand, because mine does. Somebody gave me their Showtime password, and I watched it last night, and it was so good, man. I hope y'all watched it. Hey, Brandon. Mm-hmm. Come on, Whoopi. Come on. Don't see it, but love your point of view on things. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is a. You know how you. Let me think about what something did this for me. Well, Dream Hampton. Dream Hampton's surviving R. Kelly. While I thought that I knew the basics of the case about R. Kelly, but I like when documentaries go deep and give you, like behind the scenes details, just different details that you didn't know. I have the overall gist of what happened in the R. Kelly situation. And I'm from the Midwest, so a lot of times um sometimes when there's news that kind of comes out regionally, or the person is from your region, or that your area is their stomping ground, sometimes before the news hit the streets are already talking. And a lot of times before the R. Kelly stuff hit when I was in high school, because I'm in high school in '90s, it was already rumored even in our school in like Indianapolis, because Chicago is two hours away. um Even in our school, it was rumored that he was picking up young girls in high school, in our school. So it wasn't a secret that was not out. I mean, that you get what I'm saying, that it was something that was rumored and joked about, and you know, people talked about it. So sometimes when you're around stuff, like I'm pretty sure there was shit being said about Bill Cosby in Philly before anything happened, or in LA, when he was living in LA when all this shit was going on. So Dream and Surviving R. Kelly, that was a moment where they were shining light on some aspects of the case that you just didn't know, and almost making it undeniable, because it wasn't just they're giving you so much detail, and this was the same way. And this was the same way. This documentary was giving me details about Bill Cosby, about the cases, about history of this time, that I just, didn't know, or didn't I might have known it but didn't connect it to Cosby's story. And there were certain aspects of Cosby's career that I didn't even know his impact. Like, General Cosby's the impact of the Cosby Show and, you know, Hey Albert and just where he was in the staple. If you grew up, I'm an 80s baby, but I'm not a 70s baby. And there's something about a 70s baby that had a different relationship with Cosby than 80 babies do. Um, 80s babies, most of us were introduced to Bill Cosby through the Cosby Show. You know, he did the pudding pop, he did blah blah blah. Hey Albert was kind of going out. It was still there, but it was kind of going out. We was getting into something else. But definitely Cosby Show. Now, 80s baby and the 70s baby, they have a whole different version of Cosby. That's when he was getting into his educational bag. Um, and then when you go back to 60s baby, they have a whole um version of Cosby because he was like in I Spy and he was like this new type of character that we hadn't seen before. And so everybody, depending on what generation you you got entered, you are when you were born, when you was coming of age, you have a different kind of aspect of Cosby. And even if 90s, Cosby, that's when he turned into the angry grandpa. And angry anti-black grandpa. So anyway, I'm not gonna play with y'all. I'm trying to do this live, and y'all is not gonna be distracting me. Ah, but anyway, okay. Let me see what y'all over here saying. Let's see. I have seen it. This is spoiler, child. So if y'all don't want, it's a documentary, child. It's not a movie plot. So I don't care about spoilers. When people are talking about documentaries. I'm in the UK. Always wish to be able to chat with you in real time. Oh, yay. UK people. For some reason, I'm getting a lot of UK people in the past like month. On the Playboy doc, they said Bill Cosby and Hugh Hefner were best of friends. I'll get to that. Yes, God, that was interesting. There are so many aspects that you just don't know that add to the. I gotcha. It makes sense. Yep, the community always know, just like the prevalent of sexual predators in the Caribbean community. People know and look the other way. Facts. I'm an 80s baby, and that is so true. My mama was the one who told me about that album. My mom's a 60 baby. Diamond, did you watch all four parts? I did watch all four parts. Never look at it like that. I was born in '86, so it was the Cosby Show in a different world. It's on Showtime. Yes, it is on Showtime. Hey, Nathan, how are you? Hey, Sherry, who did not say hey to? Hey, Ty. Hey, Coco. Hey, Ring. Who did I miss anybody? I think I got everybody. Yes. Make sure y'all thumbs up if y'all come in. So anyway, so Bill comes in at the time, black and white TV, early 60s. He comes in as a comedian, all right? It was a whole different time. Absolutely. A different world. So let's talk about it. So Bill Cosby comes in at a time, early 60s. Now, mind you, this is not post um, civil rights movement. This is pre-civil rights movement, honey. This is before like the March on Washington. This is before the big social upheaval. This is before that. So, black folks was being Jim Crow, baby. They were being Jim Crow, honey. And so, separate but equal, but not so equal. So he's coming up in a time in his career. He's coming out as a comedian. And what I learned is his peers, what his peers in the comedy field were doing, peers as in other black people, what his peers was doing, particularly the one particular that they mentioned is Dick Gregory. And so Dick Gregory was doing conscious black talk in his comedy. He was a comedian too. A lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that. I knew Dick Gregory was something, but I didn't know he was a comedian. I thought he was an actor, or I can't remember what I thought Dick Gregory was, because I didn't get into Dick Gregory until he was older. Dick Gregory, at the time that I was growing up, he was an old head that I was too young to know what he did in the past, but I knew he was a black elder because they would pull him out on different shows. They would pull him out on the Cosby Show. They would pull him out on Martin. They would pull him out, or I think Martin. But anyway, they would pull him out on the Cosby shows as an elder. Not same thing that they were doing with Pam Grier at the time, because I wasn't old enough to be in the Foxy Brown blaxploitation era. Those people in those eras were like Lena Horne. Those people were being celebrated in black media that I was consuming. They would come on Living Single, whatever media, Arsenio Hall, whatever media that was happening. Those icons were older and they were being revered. So they would bring, Red Fox on. They would bring, whoever was popping in the 60s and the 70s were now old enough to be paraded out. Look at this elder who paved the way for us. So that one, Dick Gregory was one of those people where I didn't exactly know exactly what he did when I was younger, but I knew he was some special black man. I didn't know what he did, but I knew he was somebody that laid a foundation for whatever it was he did. That was my assumption as a kid. But what this shows us is that he was a comedian. He was a comedian who was trying to do crossover stuff and trying to and actually working in white clubs that were normally just for white people. And so, but he also had a more racialized comedy set. So his whole routine was racialized. Like he was talking about racial issues within his comedy, kind of like we see Dave Chappelle now when it comes to race. He does extra shit, but it was now. But he was kind of really race based. Bill Cosby came in and he didn't want to talk about race. He wanted to be that person who was clean, didn't cuss. He wanted to not make race an issue. He wanted to be raceless. And that's literally what they were saying during the documentary, that he was shrouded as this raceless person. And that made him more palatable at the time for the white people. Anybody who wanted to book him, not only was he brilliant at his craft, where Bill can be on stage and talk up and take some story, any story, and make it funny. And he had comedic, physical comedy that he had. He just was brilliant in making a mundane story funny. That was what his claim to fame was. That was what he was skilled at in the time that he was coming up in the 60s as a comedian. He was skilled in making normal, mundane stories funny with the way he told them, the way he used his voice, his physical comedy. That was his skill. And he wasn't talking about race. So the white people could be like, ooh, this is a nice Negro. We could put them on the show. We could put him on the show. He could be entertainment. And so that made him blow up more so than a Dick Gregory, even though Dick Gregory had already laid the foundation for him to come through the door. You feel what I'm saying? Because he was getting these kind of gigs. So he becomes this kind of racialized, this raceless person, this palatable. We have seen this so many times. We have seen that black person that doesn't talk about race, that doesn't sing about race. That's what when we think about Ella Fitzgerald compared to Billie Holiday. The FBI was fucking with her because she was, singing Strange Fruit. But where we have like Ella Fitzgerald, not saying that they didn't have any problem because of their race, but Ella was singing just kind of the great standards. So it made her more palatable where they weren't really bothering her in because of the songs that she was singing. You get what I'm saying? Whereas Billie Holiday was, coming up at a time where it was super, super motherfuckers getting lynched, and she was doing a racialized song. So who can come and sing at the Copacabana or whatever it's called, or at the, whatever these Las Vegas places that had, that's ran by the white mob boss and the Jewish people who got money. We talked about how Jews assimilated into whiteness in one of my lives the other day. That's what we're talking about. Um, owned by the Jewish mob boss, the Jewish people, the Italians, owning the fucking Vegas nightclubs, but keeping them segregated and not letting and only letting those kind of palatable black acts perform at their place. And so Bill Cosby was one of those palatable blacks. And so I learned in that moment about Dick Gregory, but also about what Bill's strategy was to set the foundation to become what we would know him as, this untouchable American icon dad, da 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 da, good image, because he was strategic in being sure that I'm not gonna cuss, and I'm not like Will Smith. Same strategy as Will Smith in his rap. Will Smith don't cuss in his raps. That's not what he does. And look, Will Smith is this clean, black movie star, very palatable, very put into roles that could be easily white men. This was a Bill Cosby strategy in his career. This is not a unique strategy. We all know, and I don't like to call them coons because I don't think you could be necessary. You don't have to be selling out black people in order for you to do what you need to do to get in the door. We all do it on some level, maybe not to the extreme cooning level, but we all do it. When we're trying to get that job, we might not talk with as much AAVE. We might code switch. We might take our tone up a little bit more just to get that job, just to get in the door. I think there's a level to it that can go too far, but we all, because we live in a white supremacist world, we all do it on some level. There is some level of respectability politics that we adhere to try to get advancement and get opportunities and get resources within this structure that we in, or we wouldn't be able to survive. We have to do it. Now, some of us has built ourselves up to the point where I ain't got to worry about that shit as much as we probably would have had to do in previous years, but especially in this time around the 50s, 60s, where motherfuckers was delegated to the slums. There weren't jobs. It was just, we were being pushed into the ghettos, and it was a situation where we have to figure out how to get this money. And sometimes, I'm not gonna try to push up against the system. I'm just gonna be nice, tell my little nice stories, and work. And that's what a lot of people did. And Bill Cosby was one of them. I think something they pointed out with Martin Luther King's message to celebrity black people: you don't have to be on the front lines. He was very clear about you as celebrity don't have to be on the front lines, because you are doing another kind of work, which I think is image activism, which is something I call image activism, where you just do your job, because you look at and they showed some pictures, different people, Sidney Poitier, Diane Carroll, Nichelle Nichols. Look, when we see Nichelle Nichols on Star Trek being a black woman, a black lieutenant on a show about a spaceship in the fucking future, that image means that we fucking survived and we are in positions of power in the future. We're not dead. We're not eliminated. We got some type of power. Yes, we got this white man leading the ship, but it's a black woman as a lieutenant. That image is powerful. That image, that's like a moral image that let black people know, yo, this is a possibility. And people like Mahalia Jackson, people like Sidney Poitier, people like Bill Cosby, people like Lena Horne, people like Sarah Vaughan, Ella Fitzgerald, all these celebrities who were doing their thing. No, you don't know. Nina Simone, you don't have to be on the on the on the front lines of the march to do what you need to do to support, because your job is just as important. That image of you being on TV, getting through those doors in these film studios, you're doing your job too. Let us handle this down here in this organizing level, on the grassroots level. You keep doing your thing up there. And I thought that was true as well. There is multiple ways that you can use your particular talents to push the culture forward when it comes to setting a standard for people, for, you know what I'm saying, there is no standard for people doing this work. It can be based on your talent and skill. I've said this story before. I remember maybe like a year ago, one of our listeners, he is a crossword, and if you heard the story, I'm saying it again, just because I think it's a perfect example. He was a crossword puzzle king, and he had a champ, and he had won the world crossword puzzle. And so he got a job at USA Today at curating their crossword puzzles. All of a sudden, I start getting messages from older people saying, yo, I saw your podcast. I found out about your podcast in the crossword puzzle. And I'm like, huh? And so I go look, and they send me a screenshot, and in the crossword puzzles ledger for the answers, the dude, the crossword puzzle champ, he actually made our podcast one of the answers. So people had to go look up our podcast to even know about us. This is his expertise. This is his field. This is what he does as a Black nerd. You see what I'm saying? So this is his platform. This is what he does. So he was able to amplify us and our work through his own work. And we got new listeners, older listeners. Some older person doing a crossword puzzle on the USA Today at home found out about our podcast because this crossword puzzle champ put us in the answer, in the puzzle. That was amazing. That's using what you do, using your space, using your circle in order to push the culture forward. And I thought that was a great point on the documentary that Martin Luther King was talking about, how, yo, you don't have to be, there was a space for a Diane Carroll. I know now we are bucking up against this idea that you gotta be respectable. You gotta be that, because we know that doesn't work. You still, all them people that were getting sprayed by hoses, attacked by dogs, and beat with batons, they were dressed up in slacks and suits. You see what I'm saying? They were dressed up in slacks and suits. So how you dress is not going to stop a racist motherfucker from being racist. And we're bucking up against the system that says that you need to be a pristine, perfect Black person to earn and get respect. Was there a time in our country where we needed to conform because the powers that be were so powerful and and oppression was so heavy? Yes, that was important. We learned that we could see, there was an amazing book called Stamped from the Beginning by Ibram X. Kendi. And he talks about, through multiple people's journey, about how people are changing. And one of those people he talked about is W.B. Du Bois, how early on he was talking about that kind of, I'm the exceptional Negro. Not just him, but it was praised to be the exceptional Negro who can do everything like white people. Even Frederick Douglass, when a part of Frederick Douglass's early work, along with his book, his narrative, he actually did a campaign of taking pictures, using photography, taking pictures. Frederick Douglass, right? Taking pictures of Black people in nice clothes, because prior to that, they were seen in their slave clothes and the and looking down and out and looking dusty and raggedy because they're all sharecroppers or field workers and da 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 da. So his idea was, let me take pictures of black people in nice clothes. Let me use this camera and use these images to change the image of black people. And that's why when you see Frederick Douglass in pictures, you're usually going to see him looking nice, hair slicked to the side, however they did it back then, because he thought it was super, super powerful, that image, for them to see images like that. And yes, that was important to do um, at this time. When we think about Phyllis Whitley, the poet, the slave poet that the white teacher taught how to read and write to prove a point that yes, if we give them the tools and the opportunity to read and write, they can read and write just like us. Look at Phyllis Whitley's work now. And so at the time, because they were so oppressive, and there was literally propaganda and rhetoric that was saying that black people were beneath white people, that black people were subhuman, that their brain, they were dumb, they were stupid, they were slow. It was literally propaganda being put out against that. So these type of things where we were trying to prove ourselves were important at that time. But it gets to a point where that has happened so much. We have proved that point so much that it's getting kind of old. You motherfuckers know. And you see that in the queer culture too. Like trans women, gay folks, we had to, in the early part of our movements, we had to look exactly like cisgender people. Gay people had to prove that we are human and we love just like you. We love just like you, and we just so happen to love the same gender, but we're just like you. Look at my dying lover on their bedside. I want to be there and take care of them, just like a husband and a wife. We gotta parade out how we are exactly like them in order for them to respect us. But it gets to a point where we like, motherfuckers, we ain't gotta do that shit. We don't have to fucking um be just like you to fucking for you to see our fucking humanity. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't gotta look exactly like a cisgender woman for you to respect my motherfucking womanhood. Bitch, get the fuck out of here. That may have been how the old school people, I come from the old guard, so passability is important. But as we keep going forward, that's getting older and antiquated as we go. I don't need to look like anything but what the fuck I want to look like in order for you to respect my name, respect my gender, respect my pronouns, motherfucker. Period. I don't. We're getting to that point. Have I gotten there? I ain't there yet. I like blending and being safe, and there's a little. It's like a little snuggie when I go out in the world and I can blend. I like that. I'm not to that level where, you know, um, I'm never going to be there. I'm just a part of the old guard. I'm never going to be in the point where I'm going to be running around with a beard and a wig, and that's somebody else's battle to fight and somebody experiences to do. But the culture is moving in that direction where they can navigate the world. Somebody, non-binary people, somebody like that who want to be all hairy and in dresses and all that kind of stuff. I don't understand that, but I understand that when they do it and go out in the world, they shouldn't be attacked. They shouldn't be harmed. They should be able to survive and get jobs and do whatever they need to do. I know that that's fair, even though I don't understand it and it's not my experience. I know that that's the direction that we should be moving in, where people should be able to navigate the world however they are, however they want to be. Let their gender expression be their gender expression. And so it's the same thing. These are battles that we all, as marginalized people, go through, where we are trying to be this perfect cisgender thing, and then assimilate into cisness, assimilate into whiteness, and assimilate into womanhood or manhood, depending on where you're going, um, or honey, in the middle, whatever. Um, but we get to a point where it's not enough, and we learn that racism, patriarchy, white supremacy, sexism. It's really not about them. It's not about you being like them. They're going to find a way to make you not like them if they want to discriminate against you. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's my long way of saying, Bill Cosby, he was about playing that kind of palatable black role, and it worked for him. It worked. He became one of the biggest comedic acts in the 60s. He was killing it. He was playing all the hot gigs that was for white people. It was a time where there was a lot of people doing this, who were doing things that were opening up the doors. Sammy Davis Jr., tons of people like this. So finally, producer was like, it would be interesting to get him on this show. And he plays this sidekick of this white dude on I Spy. And so this was groundbreaking. This was groundbreaking TV for many reasons, because prior to this, everybody who was on TV was, honey, what you gonna do? Honey, acting, Amos and Andy, acting like coons, honey, acting like dumb and, ooh, boss, yes, sir. I was gonna run over there. Goofy, retarded, anybody who was black, the actors were playing these dumb, dim-witted roles, and that's all that they would, that's how they would depict black people on TV. But all of a sudden, Bill Cosby is in this I Spy, and he is the intelligent one. He's the one who speaks multiple languages. He's the one who is also getting the girls, who is also like on his James Bond spy swag. Even though he's the sidekick, they've never seen a black man in this position as somebody who speaks well, multiple languages, that is intelligent, that is fighting crime in a powerful position. We didn't see this. This was the first. All this Denzel Washington, Idris Elba, all these hot dude sex symbols in movies as the character. This is what laid the groundwork for that. We hadn't seen this yet. And so here Bill Cosby is in the 60s in a television show, being another possibility model for people to see that was coming in people's homes. I wonder if Bill was getting the same pay as the white comedians. They let him in the door and cut the cake the same. I doubt it. I doubt that, but I think he was getting so many gigs that if you add it all up, he probably was being outpaid. Maybe not for an individual gig, but if he was getting booked so many places that when you add all the payments for all the places, he probably was being paid more than the rest. Maybe. I'm not for sure about the pay. They didn't really go into that so much. Not to forget the famous shuffle walk. So this was an amazing success. They are letting black people into their homes, okay, into their homes on TV in this capacity where he's looking like a hero. He's looking like a superhero, a smart, intelligent, sexy. Because they showed a lot of pictures of Bill back then, and he was very, very sexy. He had that Idris Elba. Idris Elba is not pretty to me. To me, he's not pretty, but he's sexy as hell. It's the swag. It's the way he, when he walk on the screen, and it's just, oh my God, it's sexy. It's just a sex appeal. And that's what Bill was getting to me. He wasn't a pretty dude, but he was a sexy dude in that moment. And also, they shone a light on his groundbreaking work for Stunt, black stunt people. So prior to this, prior to Bill Cosby, they would use white people painted in black to do stunt work for black people instead of hiring black people. Make it make sense. This is how ridiculous racism is. This is how ridiculous. Like they would do some of the most ridiculous shit. It's just as ridiculous as having two different water fountains and it's coming from the same spout and going over here. This is the white one and this is the black one. This is the dumbest racism is makes it's a fucking disease. It is fucking stupid. It is irrational. It is stupid. It's dumb. So they would spend the time to paint white people's bodies to do the stunt work for black people. So crazy. And then they showed this black girl where because they weren't hiring black people to do the stunt work, they literally dressed this man up as a woman in the outfit and painted his skin black in order to be her stunt double. So when you slow it down, you see this man doing her stunts. I was cackling. Racism is ridiculous. And the actress who had played that role, she was like the first black Bond girl in that movie. And she said we didn't even have any stunt doubles where she said I literally had to lay in the grass and get ate up by the ants. And when I had a dead scene, when I was dead, it was baby, that role was hilarious. But Bill said, "This is ridiculous. This is stupid. I need you to hire a stunt double for me who looks like me. There's plenty of black men that are being extras, that are doing so many different things, and why you can't get a black man to be my stunt double?" And literally, Bill Cosby pushing that envelope, saying, "Yo, y'all need to get this shit together," pushed it to where it's a whole career now for people to be stunt doubles. A whole career for black people. So one of the barriers that he started to break down. Hey, Andre. So what's next? So during all of this time, because he was a comedian, Bill Cosby was recording albums, like comedy albums. That was the big thing. You know how like now the big thing is to do specials on streaming services. So like on HBO or on Netflix or blah, 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 to do specials on these platforms. Back then, comedian things were doing recorded albums of comedy shows, like just their bit, the recorded albums of that. And they would get Grammys, they would get so many awards for them. And so this is what Bill Cosby was doing. So that was that was 60s going into the 70s. Now the 70s is when Bill Cosby starts to get into his educational bag. He starts to get in his educational bag. And they start giving him these these TV specials where he is teaching people, educating people. Now there was this one that was kind of black as fuck, but it didn't roll over well. So he went into the kids era. It's like an early form of podcasting. Yep, definitely. Excuse me. And he started going into kid shit like Fat Albert. He started to be able to do cartoons, animations. Well, not do them, but voice over them. And it turned into this. He started to be like an educator. And, he was using this opportunity to talk about, different things in the world for kids. But what was interesting about this particular era is the people who the characters that he had on the Fat Albert, the characters were black. They weren't white kids that just so happen to be painted black. They had accents. They had black names. They were black characters on these cartoons that had never been seen before. That weren't just white kids. We had like who was the one? Is it Franklin on Peanuts? You know, the black boy on Peanuts. That he basically was a white kid, but they painted him brown. Um, um, so yes, he was breaking down all of these barriers. Okay. And but while this was going on, there was a culture. Oh, so I'm sorry. So let's talk about Playboy Mansion, which I thought was an interesting situation. So Hugh Hefner was a white man who, y'all know his history. He had like a bunny, like a Playboy bunny, like a mansion, and like this fucking restaurant where they would be walking around in their bunny outfits, all of those kind of things. Animated blackface. I hated when they did that. And I think it was a little bit different from blackface in the time, because the characters were like 70s personalities at the time. It wasn't just like blackface, like minstrel show blackface. I think it's a very distinct difference where now, because of who we are in our age bracket, when we see those kind of, yeah, jive, turkey, when we see those kind of things, we think of them as kind of like over the top 70s caricatures of black people because of black exploitation and Shaft and da da da. But actually, in the time, a lot of times that was kind of like the hip shit to say in the black culture. Now we are looking at it as black caricature, but when it was in the 70s, you know, those were things that were actually being said. It's kind of like us saying, you know, that shit is lit. Where 50 years from now, if somebody is saying lit or whatever we're saying now, period, period, it's going to be a caricature of this era of time. And when somebody does it in 50 years from now, it's going to be like, oh, she's really doing this kind of character of what blackness used to be in the 2020s and 2010s. Do you see what I'm saying? Once things go out of vogue, they become a character of the moment in time. And so I think the characters on Fat Albert, while we can look back at it and see it's kind of being kind of a, you know, but I think that's from our perspective. It's not blackface like minstrel show blackface. Okay, so yeah, so Hugh Hefner had the Bunny Ranch, he had the little restaurant, he had the, you know, the Bunny Mansion. And there was a moment in the documentary where there was a white bunny who was telling her story, and there was a black bunny who was telling her story. And there was a juxtaposition in the way they were telling it. The white girl was talking about how it was demeaning and she felt like she objectified. Yeah, she was on the Zelda was on she was in that one of the films that he showed in the documentary. He showed it in a documentary. She was being interviewed and explaining um, the um, the outfit. So one of the white bunny was talking about, oh, it's demeaning. They was looking at us at our just for our body parts, and it was really really hard work. And the black girl was like, we were making $1,000 a week or more. And so the black girl was talking about how they were treated if somebody just how somebody had said something about him not wanting a nigger as no fucking waiter, and they kicked him out. They kicked the customer out for being racist. because what I didn't know is Hugh Hefner was on his civil rights icon status. Like, he was an ally. He was like, no, we are going to have black bunnies. We're going to have black acts. We're going to have black and white people in our restaurant together. He supported the civil rights movement, and he did what he could in his own particular era to push that political ideology forward. And so you can't come in his place and be disrespectful, because you're gonna get kicked out. And so the black bunny was telling, the ex-black bunny was telling her story from a perspective of privilege. And I thought it was really, I mean, from a perspective of lack of privilege, I thought it was really, really interesting, because that is what it is. Like, white women have the luxury because of her status in the culture. It could be demeaning for her because they're not being treated as a black girl. A black girl is like, yo, I can go make, $25 a week, or I can be here making $1,000 a week. This is a whole different era. Just for me to be cute and I got bouncers protecting me. All I'm doing is serving food, or I can be a waiter somewhere else making $25 a week. No. But that white girl didn't have to experience that. She can go be a secretary and make, $500 a week, or I don't know, however much it was. She can make more than the black girl. The opportunities are more for her. So the white girl is gonna be it's gonna be an emphasis on the objectification more so than the black girl, because the black girl was like, I know what objectification feel like, and I've been objectified for much, much more less than this. I'd much rather be objectified making $1,000 plus a week, so I can get my ass through college and pay for a house and pay for whatever I need to pay for. And so I thought it was interesting to see the juxtaposition between how the white woman saw her experience as a bunny and the black woman seeing her experience as a bunny. But Bill Cosby, that is how he became friends with Hugh Hefner, because Hugh Hefner had one of the hottest spots. Was it in Vegas? I can't remember. But wherever he had his little location. And so, who else? This is also the time when motherfuckers start putting shit in people's drinks, doing drugs, Spanish fly and shit. And they explain how while this is a time where everybody was using drugs for recreation and blah, 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 this was also a time where those lines were being blurred of, I'm doing this for recreation, or somebody has given me this to incapacitate me. Somebody has put something in my drink. Yeah, I may have consensually took a pill because this was a part of the culture, da 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 da. But I can't consent to, if I'm passed out and fucked over and can't pay attention and can't control myself, I can't consent to that. And I think that this is what, because we are coming out of this culture of men having so much power and so much privilege, and women having so little power and little positions to change very little positions in the culture to change the dynamic of power. We hadn't had the Ruth Bader Ginsburgs, we hadn't had the Hillary Clintons, we hadn't had the Barbara Jordans, we hadn't had the Combahee River Collective yet. That didn't come until the 70s. In the 60s, this was just a whole different thing of powerful women, y'all. Like, there weren't jobs that women can get out of the home except for like secretary, maids, and secretary. And this is even a lot of times for white women too. They wasn't gonna be no fucking maids, but they couldn't do shit. They could be a secretary. That's about it. Go to college. Their life stuff was, You get out of high school, you go to college, to find a husband, get married. Yeah, you might have a degree, girl, but you're not using it. You're being a housewife. You take care of the kids. You got a whole degree, but you take care of the kids, and your husband pay for everything. If you were a single working girl, all you had was fucking secretarial work and being a maid. It just wasn't a lot of opportunities for women. Many of the glass doors that we talk about that are broken now were not broken in the 60s. They were not broken. And so things happening, things, there was a culture of things that were happening, being touched, being groped. And they show a lot of public displays of misogyny on film. Like they show a lot of that. Like interviewer, one of the woman news reporters at the time. First, she's done broke the ceiling. She is being a reporter, and she's one of the reporters, the field workers. And she is telling them, hey, I'm in the Playboy Mansion. They dressed her up. Imagine dressing a reporter up as a Playboy bunny. So they dressed her up as a Playboy bunny so she can go in there. And she was talking about her experience. And her co-worker, the male anchor, was being really fucking creepy about her being how he enjoyed seeing her in the bunny outfit on camera. Creepy. It was creepy. And then they showed a bunch of clips where dudes, and there's tons of clips of interviewers talking to Dolly Parton, talking to just different celebrities, and just being sexist and misogynist. It's just like, it's literally videos that are dedicated to that, just showing how rude and disgusting shit that they wouldn't do nowadays to people, because it's just not it's not respectful. And so they just lay out the culture of drugs, the culture of misogyny, the culture of what you could get away with. And, Me Too and all the stuff that we have been through in the past decade since this is 70, what, 60, 70, 80, 90, 2000. This is like 50, 60 years ago. Okay? So this is the whole time period that women have kind of moved forward in how they are engaged with, how they are respected in the culture. And we are coming out of this era. But back then, it just was a part of the culture to be fucking misogynist pigs and get away with it. And so this is when, apparently, when all of the allegations started to happen. This is when his first incidents where he is started to drug people and started to give them pills and started to use the power of his celebrity in a negative way. What else? So fast forward to the 80s. Bill starts to be a powerhouse when he gets his contract to do the Cosby Show. And this part of the documentary got me emotional, because they lay out the powerfulness of the Cosby Show, and why it was what it was, why it was so special. And I remember the joy and happy feelings of the Cosby Show. I remember it. One of my favorite episodes of the Cosby Show, of course, is some the major big ones is gonna be the big fun. Vanessa went to Baltimore for big fun to see the wretched. That one is sickening. A lot of people like that one. I like a lot of people like the one baby. Monday, baby. with Rudy singing Ray Charles. Um, but one of my favorites also is when they were trying to teach Theo about how life. Yes, when Claire Reed's album. You're not gonna see anybody serving you anytime, anywhere, any place. If you don't cut out that macho stuff, if you don't cut out all that macho stuff, I love that stuff. Now, what would you like in your coffee? Love it, love it, love it. But when they were trying to teach Theo about, being out on his own as adult, and they was dressed up as different salespeople, the rent, the mattress people, the furniture people. I thought that was so cute. I thought that it was adorable. Um, when Sandra had changed, when Sandra had changed her mind about being a lawyer, and Claire was like, "No, I want all of our money back now." It was, and then Theo with the shirt that Denise made him. Even how annoyed I was when they switched the Sandras. Y'all remember that when they switched the Sandras? Um, Rudy's relationship with her little boyfriend. What was her little boyfriend name? How her boyfriend was like a little misogynist dude, and Rudy was telling him off. What was her little Bud? Yeah, Bud. Bud. Um, yeah, it just was. I loved it. I loved it. Just it holds a special place in my memory of joy of sitting down watching it in the 80s. It just was something that was a joy. He was synonymous with good, wholesome family TV. That's what Bill Cosby gave you. But then they start talking about what was going on behind the scenes, man. All these power trips, how he had lines of models and come into his room, and no other time was his dressing room locked except when the models was in there. And it just was basically they're laying out why everything was such an obvious thing. He literally talked about it, about drugging women and using Spanish fly, how much you need to get them to um and it just pops up in different parts of his work. Just him talking about drugging women or drugging people or putting something in somebody's food or drink. It pops up in all his work, his stand-up routine, his recordings, in the Cosby's when he was talking about his barbecue sauce. It is multiple times throughout his career that he is talking about putting something in somebody's thing to get them feeling sexy. It's obvious. Like he is talking about it. And then all the power dynamics. And so now the women are starting to tell their story in between in the documentary, in between what is happening, behind what's the good stuff that's happening and the bad stuff that's happening. And so while you're watching this documentary, you are seeing the cultural positive impact of Bill Cosby on the culture, what he represented, what he did for the culture, how just different things, like from the stunt double stuff to the first, this black family and this black image that everybody watched. And they lay out how it wasn't just affecting black people, it was affecting white people, how white people were loving this show and eating it up. He was America's dad, not just black America's dad, he was America's dad. So, excuse me, I just ate before I started this, and so I'm burping. The Gordon Gartrell chart, yes. And so it just lays out how in one direction in his career he was just doing these so positive things, but in his personal life he was doing negative gross, disgusting, misogynistic stuff. And so, and he started to get in his arrogant bag. He started to use his power and privilege in order to do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. From what I can tell, he was always doing this shit. This shit went the accounts of women, and they gave you this long ass timeline, like multiple women. And this is another thing, like people always like, oh, it's nothing but white girls. First of all, a third of his victims were not white. They're just trying to take a black man down. Look, I don't know. It is too many. It gets to a point where it's too many, yo. Somebody's not lying. And you only need one to be a creep. So out of all these people where we stopped counting at 65, 66, 67, where it was so many that we stopped counting. We stopped counting. And another element of and a lot of women came on and told their story, and it's not in the statute of limitation is over. They can't sue, so they can't get no money. They just telling their story. A lot of them were like, honestly, I took the pill, but I didn't know that it was on some fucking shit, or I didn't know that it was something in the drink. I didn't know that something. I was so out that I don't know what happened, but I know something happened because my pussy feels like it's been penetrated. I wasn't conscious during the actual whatever happened, so I can't tell you what it was. But I know I went when I was unconscious. When I went out, he was there, and when I woke up, he was there, and I feel like I've been fucked. A lot of them was saying that, like they was like, I can't remember what happened because I was passed out. I don't know what happened. I can't tell you what happened because I was drugged. Absolutely, Brandon. Absolutely. Mm. Yes, it's more than that. Cause those are the people they stopped counting on the show. They stopped counting. And there are people who didn't come forward. You know that. If 60 to 70 women came forward, there are women who didn't come forward. One of the elements that not only changed it for me, it's not that I didn't believe it. I believed it early on because look, I'm a black woman, I'm a black trans woman. The beauty, I don't want to say the beauty. Is it the beauty? It's beautiful for me. The beauty of being a black trans woman, one of the beauties is that we have a clear view beyond the mask of people's veneer when it comes to their public persona and what they would do behind closed doors. I learned early in my teens, preteens, that how particular men and boys, but not just boys, it's girls too, particular men and boys, because that is what I experienced the most from it. They would sneak, they would be acting like one thing, doing one thing in public, and sneak and try to have me. I remember this one boy was so thug and tough when I was in a group home. This isn't even the group home. This is called in Indianapolis. We had something called the Guardian Home and then the group home. So the Guardian Home is where you go in transition to the group homes. Like that's usually temporary. Like if you go to juvenile and they can't find your parents, like you get in trouble and they can't find your parents, you will end up take you out of juveniles if you didn't do anything criminal. They'll take and put you in a guardian home till they find your parents or till you go to a group home. So in the guardian home, we would have to take showers, and it was like a boys' dorm or whatever. And we would have to take showers, and he would be acting all straight and thuggy, and then looking over the stall in the shower at me. Ty, you remember that? Like, because you can bring a chair in there and look over into the showers over at me. And then as I got older, it just got worse. Like everybody, I learned very early on that what people do for the public can be totally different than what they do. Even look at church people. My uh, aunt will fucking go to church and be putting give each one of us nickels and quarters to put in the plate, so we won't embarrass her by not putting her in the plate, sitting there pristine, da, 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 pinching us if we doing too much, pinching us on the side, da, da, da. We not cussing, being nice, using the good nice white people on the customer service voice when we at church. Baby, we get back home to the motherfucking house, cussing on the phone, messy, having sex with the men's. A whole different image. A whole different image. So it's not just about like down low sexual stuff, but also like, like the church shit, just respectability shit. And motherfuckers, the drug shit. It could be a motherfucker who a straight fucking clucker, like a whole fucking dope fiend, like a clucker, cokehead, crackhead, da 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 da. But they could be going to work, they could be going to church, they could be doing so many different things and you wouldn't even know it. I met so many people like that dealing with my mama's drug addiction. So early on, with my transness, with my blackness, with my poorness, I was exposed to understand that the veneer of people was not always real. It just wasn't. Excuse me. There's a video of comedian Joffrey. Yes. And this is also what they laid out. That this is multiple people in different scenarios. Oh, let me say this. So I already believed it, right? I already believed that this is you. I can tell. This is you. It's just you are giving me, I don't know Cosby personally, but the MO is giving me all the type of men that I have seen. It's giving me creep, like all the shit. So I believed it. But I was at like 80%. Like 80% I believe you, but there's a 20% chance that you might because are y'all trying to tarnish? You always try to give it benefit of the doubt because are y'all trying to wear a black man out? That's always in the back of your head because you know how racism works, but I also know you're not just any black man. You are a powerful, rich black man, and if it comes to this point, that a lot of white people got money. You are a racehorse, and a lot of white people got money betting on you to succeed. They were still giving you contracts. Still giving you contracts when they knew all of this shit was going on. So they would do anything in their power to shut anybody up because you are a racehorse that they are making money from. So if it got to this point, that means you have been out of fucking control. But what took me from 80 to 100% believe that this is true, and a lot of people pointed it out on this documentary, is that Beverly Johnson. I'm cool with Beverly Johnson. So this isn't somebody, I've met Beverly Johnson in my life. We went to the BET Awards in 2012 with her. She is cool as fuck. Beverly Johnson is cool. I don't know her when she was, famous for being Beverly Johnson, the model, da 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 da. But Beverly Johnson is not some unknown white woman just looking for money, just looking for a come up. Beverly Johnson is just as an icon as Bill Cosby and black. Beverly Johnson is motherfucking Beverly Johnson. She's not some unknown motherfucker. She's Beverly Johnson. And so for me, in my mind, that lady is in being that I have met her personally and know her vibe and know how she is, that woman ain't fucking lying. I don't know none of these white women. I don't know none of them. So I can't tell you, well, I don't believe all of them, even if a couple of them is like, I'm just trying to get some coins. Maybe. But I don't believe that. But definitely, soon as Beverly Johnson said, look, he didn't rape me because I got out of I was able to get out of the situation, but because I'm a bitch who, used to get high, I used to know, I used to be on cocaine. Shit. I used to get high, so I know when a motherfucker do put some shit in my drink. I'm a model. I've been in that game. So I know what the tea is. Janet Dickinson said it too, but it, everybody has value, but who has more value to me is Beverly Johnson because I'm connected to her. She's a black woman. She's not a celebrity black woman that is just break just as many doors. Yes, Beverly Johnson did not need Bill Cosby to be famous, to get money. She was not that person. And so she didn't need to come out and do this. And so, and she's not saying that, oh, he raped me. She literally said, no, he did not rape me, but he did try to drug me. And if I didn't try to get out of the situation, he probably would have. But because I was putting up so much of a fight, he put me in a fucking cab and sent me home. But he did fucking drug me. And because I'm not some naive chick that he usually tries to get, I'm an ex-model. It was customary for models to be on they getting hot shit. Back in the 70s when she was popping, her and Iman was popping. They admitted to, being not. I don't know about Iman, but I know Beverly. She admitted to being on her cocaine shit and her recreational drug shit. She admitted that in her books and everything. So she said, "I know what drugs feel like." And when he gave me that drink, I felt like, yo, this dude is drugging me. I feel it. I feel it coming because I know what it feel like because I'm a drug user, motherfucker. And she started cussing his ass out and going off before she could get out of her wits. She started going off on him. Hey, before she get out of her wits. No, Mr. Like I do it. It is on Showtime. It's so many different stories. It's so many. They interview so many of the victims from different eras. So some of them are as old as he is, and some of them are young. You know what I'm saying? It just, honey, this man is crazy. But I'm talking about Beverly Johnson because she was in the documentary, and it kind of pissed me off. Don't get me wrong. It kind of pissed me off because in the documentary, some of the dudes were like, it wasn't until Beverly Johnson that I was like, ooh, Bill, what's up? I'm like, what? And because, like I said, I believed folks, but she did tip me over to the 100%, definitely. But that's because I have a personal connection. And then the dude who plays, because it's different when you have a personal connection with victims, right? That's just what it is. It's about that with everything. When you think about trans people, data has shown that people who know trans people personally are less transphobic than people who don't know us at all. That's common sense, but data shows this as well. And it's something about victims that when you know them personally, it's more likely that you're going to believe them. Because you have them, you know their mind, you know what they do, you know their history. I like how Raysom was willing to look past the violence of white women to keep Cosby. Now that's a good point, Sherry. Now that's a good point. But the issue with that is that is that there has been a history of white women being protected unjustly and harming black men because of lies and deception and hate. When we think about Emmett Till and fucking Carolyn Bryant and how her lies and her bullshit led to that little boy being killed. And and she's not the only one. That's the one that it just came to my mind. But it's multiple times that white women and protecting their chastity, protecting their their white womanhood leads to black men being murdered. And so they are at two. It makes it difficult for us as people who want to protect black men and people who want to protect women. Sometimes when you put black men with a white woman, it can be hard for us to decipher who to believe because we know how men are in position. Now, back in, Jim Crow slavery days is a different level of power. But right now, we know how men could be. We have Eldridge Cleaver talking about how he rapes white women to get back at white men. So we know how men can be rapists and harmful, black ones. And we know Karen's the one that called the police when nobody is doing nothing to you. When crying wolf and there ain't no wolf, ain't nobody doing anything to you. You're lying on the phone to the police, telling them folk did something and they didn't do it. Rape allegations that are false just because you want to wear it out. Just because you want to use the power, your connection to white supremacy, and use the state as the arm of power for you, you want to lie. We know that there are white women out there like that. So how do you reconcile that? Black men who harm and white women who harm. So if you're neither one of them, if you're not a black man and you're not a white woman, and you're looking at that scenario, who do you protect? Black men want us to say, you black first. You black first. No, motherfucker. Not when it come to harm, bitch. Fuck you and your blackness. When you harming us. No. Nope. I'm everything first. Everything I am coming to the door. And then white women, but I'm a woman. You're a woman too. You understand how these men are? Yeah, we do, but we understand how y'all white folks are too, bruh. Ma'am. We understand how y'all is too, because you bitches lie and be extra and use your whiteness to wear us out. So we can't trust you either. So I don't know how to resolve that. That is something that us as black women particularly, and queer black people particularly, it's hard for us to look at it. It's hard for us to make the decision. That's why the Cosby thing is such a hard thing, because we are invested in the image that the beauty of the image that Cosby represented, but we also know the harm that clearly he's doing. Like, you are creepy. We know how power and money can put you in a position where you are taking advantage of women and you are being a fucking creep. We see it with our men. Let's see, what did I miss? I like how they highlighted how it hits home more when individuals. Okay, yes, personally affected by the assault. Yes, and remember Queen of Kingdom. Remember when the dude who plays Denise's husband, Olivia's daddy, I don't know what's his name. I can't remember his character's name, but he was interviewed on there, and he was like, at first I didn't believe people, but then when my personal friends, when it started to happen, there was a girl that I knew. He was like, he ran into her on the streets, and he asked her, had he done anything to her, one of his personal friends. And she kept it a total fucking secret. But when he asked her, they were in the car and she started crying and telling him the story about what happened. She never came forward, but she told him what had happened. She was like, I never told anybody, but I told, she was telling him because you're asking me. This did happen to me. This is what happened. And he was like, in that moment, I believed her. Because there was no reason for her to lie to me. There was no reason. There was no game. She's not pressing charges. She's not going in front of the news. She's not doing anything. This is me and her in a car. My friend. And she's emotional and telling me everything that happened. And the MO is mirror everything these other women are saying. I believe her. I don't know about all those other ones, but I believe her. And it's only one. And what was wrong with his eye? Did y'all see what was going on with his eye? And he had some kind of, like on this one right here, it was some kind of little lump right here. Like a cyst or something. It was looking ugly. I didn't like that. That was distracting me. Did y'all see that? I was like, what's wrong with his damn eye? Anyway. But yes, that is what it is. They laid it all out. Some of the women's husbands, all that kind of stuff. Did they talk about Camille? Yes, they talk about Camille. Camille is the most interesting position in this story. He definitely defended Cosby in the beginning. He did. He was like, because he's Cosby. He's the one who's gave me my career. And they were invested in the image that Cosby represented. And I understood it. That's why it was like, God, you fucked up this whole thing. Like, there is nobody who did what Cosby did for culture. Black culture. Annoying. I was like, you fucked up. You tarnished this motherfucking legacy you had. You imagine if none of that ugly shit. Camille is one of the old school women. She turned a blind eye for the lifestyle. Come on. Yeah. Camille is the interesting position as the wife. And if you remember, they said, did you ever see Camille? Everybody was like, no, we never saw her. She was not, they didn't see her at all. She was never coming to the house. I mean, she was never coming to the job. She was never coming to the events. You didn't see Camille. All from the white people to the workers. They said she didn't see Camille. Camille is as dumb as a doorknob. I don't want to say she's dumb. I don't know. It could be a strategic, like somebody just earlier said, turn a blind eye. Child, I got 5 kids by this man. And he's Bill Cosby. Don't nobody live like I do. Get out of here. It's almost like this was an arranged marriage for the image. Arranged by him. I didn't know Cosby had more than one child until a couple of years ago. But 5, none of them are in the industry. One of them, I think one of them got raped by Mike Tyson. One of Bill Cosby's daughters said that she was raped by Mike Tyson. And Cosby didn't support her. Look that up, y'all. Y'all know I be having a tea because I'm nosy. I like to look. I'll go down a wormhole. And is it Mike Tyson? I don't know. Look it up. One of his. I gotta look that up. Make sure I know Mike Tyson got had Desiree Washington, but I think Bill Cosby's daughter's raped by Mike Tyson. Yes, it was Mike Tyson. My tea is still hot. Yes, so apparently Bill Cosby's daughter accused Mike Tyson of raping her, and Bill Cosby didn't take her side. He talked her out of fucking with Mike Tyson, which all makes fucking sense because Mike Tyson held a particular type of image for black men too. I'm gonna have next week. I'm gonna have a YouTuber by the name of Feet the Signifier on the show next Thursday. And he does an amazing series, video essay on Mike Tyson. And it is so good. It is so good. And so Mike had a particular image that he was this gladiator, this black gladiator. Mike was fucking these niggas up. He was the top of his game. He just was in what Bill Cosby was doing in the, in the media world, in movies and TV. Mike was doing in the sport of boxing. He was fucking it up. He was the new, even better than like Muhammad Ali, like just a whole new thing. And so with Mike Tyson, he had this image. So of course, Bill is gonna resonate with that and tell his daughter, go sit your ass down. Don't be telling people that shit. Clock that tea. Clock that tea. Get into that juicy tea, baby. Get into that juicy tea. But anyway, do you think it could also have been Mike could have put Bill out there for his mess? No. Further, no. Why I don't think that is because Bill is an arrogant narcissist. They lay it also out in this documentary of how one of the perfect examples was Mark Lamont Hill. One of the few cishet dudes that I like to listen to is Mark Lamont Hill. Not only because that nigga is fine. He's fine. But he be on his shit. And he had wrote a op-ed. So okay, I forgot to. So once we get out of, I'm moving forward. Where are we at? We are at 127. Cishet. Yes, I believe Mark Hill is cishet. I don't think he's gay at all. He has a wife and kids. Not saying that means anything, but I don't believe he is gay at all. But he is somebody. Bill Cosby in the 80s went from Cosby, but in the 90s, his son Ennis got murdered. In my personal opinion, I feel like, honey, Ennis was Ennis was rich and out in these motherfucking streets doing what he wasn't supposed to be doing, and somebody got him, tried to rob him or something like that. I can't remember. But once his son got murdered, Bill Cosby started to be in the grumpy respectability politics nigga. So he would go to the NAACP banquets and preach, talk about that kind of conservative talking points, like you pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You don't want to take care of your kids. You got the TV watching them. Y'all need to pull up your pants. Y'all need to speak proper English and like preaching, talking down on black people, particular ghetto hood black people that weren't respectable, didn't go to college, didn't do these things, these negative, the welfare queens, the thugs and hoodlums running the street, don't know how to dress right, don't know how to speak proper English, don't know how to talk to people, all that kind of stuff. Even tried to play Wanda Sykes on, I think, somebody just brought up Wanda Sykes. Even tried to shade Wanda Sykes in a scenario because of how she was talking to him when she was hosting some kind of award show. And Mark Lamont Hill said that he just didn't like how he is dismissing the structures. Like he was like, I get what you're trying to say, respectfully, but that doesn't stop the structures of racism and the stuff up against us, like the systematic things that are up against us. Those respectability shit, that doesn't stop them. And so he wrote an op-ed about it, and literally Bill Cosby used his power to come into the school, literally make threats to Mark Lamont Hill while he was at, I think he at Temple or Morehouse. I can't remember if he was at Temple or Morehouse. And he was a professor, and he wasn't a tenured professor. So Bill Cosby literally called him and asked him, was he tenured, which is a threat, because as a professor, you're trying to get tenure because that secures your position. They can't, not that they can't fire you, but you know what I'm saying? Like it's like having a sickening seniority number at a job. And so in that scenario, Mark was like, he was very, very trying to intimidate me at my job and asking why I did this, why I did that. And all his bosses and shit were coming to him about what he said about Bill Cosby. And so Bill Cosby told them, you should let me come in and teach how people should talk about celebrities. And these people let Bill Cosby do it. And to the teachers, to the journalists. And he came and talked, like literally, Mark Lamont came and tried to talk to him, and he was being an asshole. Didn't want to face him, didn't even want to say nothing, and literally lied about him when he left the thing. So literally using his power and privilege to try to railroad this man and his job. That nigga was arrogant and whack. He had power and his privilege. I said this on Twitter. Let me go to my Twitter feed. Wow, Ty, this is crazy. Sorry, y'all. I got something going on. Anyway, I don't that threw me all the way off. You never can win when you play dirty. That I don't even know what I was going in my phone to look for. That threw me all the way off. What the fuck is she talking about? People are crazy, girl. People are crazy. Oh, on my Twitter. That's what I was trying to do. Okay. So let's see. This is what I said. So I said this shows how exquisite he was when it comes to dismantling racism in his career, but also how egregious he was with perpetuating sexist harm outside of his career. He cared about the advancement of the Black male image, but didn't care about women past their utility. And why I didn't say past sexual objectification is because he definitely used women not just sexually. When we think about the type of women that he put on the map, when we think about colorism, when we think about the women he knew that would propel him to that level of image. He picked the perfect people. Look at Claire Huxtable. She is perfect. Felicia Rashad is perfect. Like in regards to what he needed. She wasn't too light. She wasn't too dark. She had pretty hair. She was just that middle of the road where if she was light, all the dark girls were gonna be like, "Oh, he would pick a light girl." If she was dark, it wouldn't have worked because of fucking racism and colorism. He needed somebody smack dead in the middle. He knew who to pick. His daughters. He needed, now he can be, that's his wife. He can, when it comes to the image that he's creating, he can, now with the kids, he can do whatever he wants. He can pick the beautiful Lisa Bonet and Sandra, be my light-skinned daughters, and my young daughters be Rudy and Vanessa. So I got 2 light-skinned and 2 darks. And I only need 1 son, and he needs to be dark. Just like me. I don't need no light-skinned son. Because he's a black man. So for the image that he needed to portray in the world, he was perfect. The women he chose were perfect. Same thing with Camille. Camille wasn't too light, wasn't too dark, but they had pretty hair. Do you think he was in love with Lisa Bonet? No, not at all. I don't think he was in love with Lisa Bonet. I think he was if you look at the way he was treating, I think the people that he gave careers, he felt, because he's a narcissist, he felt like you owe me to do what I want you to do. And you getting pregnant fucks up what I want you to do. I wanted you to take this college scenario. I want to be able to give the image of black people in college, of young people doing what they're supposed to do, and you out here getting pregnant. Bitch, what? I think he's a narcissist, and I'm giving you this opportunity of a lifetime. Those actors were a part of the image he was trying to sell. Absolutely. He knew black people. He knew how the white people is going to go along with whatever we give them. But how can I get white people and black people? White people is going to live because I'm going to be giving the image of them. I'm going to be making jokes. I'm going to be doing these clean, yummy jokes that they have loved for years. Mind you, remember, he's been doing this type of comedy since the 60s. This middle of the road, no raceless, good storytelling comedy. They talked about that when he came and did his special, when Bill Cosby and Eddie Murphy was creating special, and he came and did his special, which everybody talks about is so genius. Cool, because he was Bill Cosby. Everybody copied Bill Cosby. Understand, they started creating their own lanes, but in the beginning, even Richard Pryor said, the first time I ever got a gig, it was me copying Bill Cosby. His whole career started because he was copying Bill Cosby. And so he had been doing that kind of Cosby comedy, that clean, family-oriented comedy on stage for 20 fucking years. And so he knew that the white people was going to eat it up, but he had to find a way to get the black people to eat it up too. Past the imagery, they knew they were going to tune in, honey. It was a different kind of image. It wasn't the good times. I'm living in the ghetto. Damn. It wasn't, it wasn't a shucking and jiving and dynamite. And it wasn't that. This is a doctor and a lawyer living in a brownstone in New York. Raising our kids, our suburban kids, going to school, all the 5. And then let me get this little cute, adorable, dark-skinned Rudy. People gonna love it. Let me eat it up. And then when Rudy ages out of her young cuteness, let me bring a light-skinned, adorable Raven Simone on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it was. So he start. I think one of the reasons why what was his downfall is his arrogance. He started to first of all do it too fucking much. As far as the raping, it just got out of hand. Like they were doing timelines and they weren't talking about every single person, but it will be picture after picture after picture of different people saying their stories. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, God, you were just doing it too much. Everything was too not you shouldn't have been doing it at all. But it definitely felt like he got to the point where I can just do this. I have the power to protect myself. I have the power where they especially that part where that girl was like, people knew what was happening because people were helping him. We say this a lot of times with the R. Kelly case. You can't do this to this level without people helping you. And no, they may not be holding the girl down, but they know what you're doing. They're setting it up for you. Let me take this girl to this room and tell her to stay here till Bill Cosby comes. And nobody knows that this is happening except for me because I'm Bill Cosby's assistant. I can't tell you purposely, I can't tell you what happened in the room. But I know I literally brought her in this room because she's a beautiful girl and Cosby wanted me to put her in the room and they locked the door. So no, legally, I can't tell you what happened once they close the door, but I pretty much know what's happening when they go close the door and lock it. We don't lock no other doors. Yep, you need a support system of silence and inaction for that level of foolishness. Absolutely. Same with R. Kelly. After he was not guilty on the first case, he thought he was invincible. Yes! Once you get away with it, once you got the powers that be who are invested in you not going to jail, we're talking about $1 million contracts. This ain't no chump change. This ain't honey Jerome at McDonald's filling on the cashier booty. They can fire him and replace him with somebody else. This ain't one of those situations. This is Bill Cosby, who has an irreplaceable talent. And we are invested millions of dollars in this being a success. We're not letting him fall. We don't care about that racism shit y'all talking about. Now it's capitalism that's protecting him. Yes, racism can wear people out, but not at this level. Not destroy it. Yeah, yes, like Oprah. Can she go to Zurich and some white woman who don't know who she is not give her a bag? Y'all remember that? Not give her a bag because she's a black woman that she thinks she's broke. Can that happen because she's fucking racist? Yes, it can happen. But can you deplatform Oprah? Bitch, no. I don't care. No. She has gotten to the level where you can't, too many people are invested in her brand. Definition of selling your soul. Mm-hmm. And so the last part is kind of laying out all of the allegations and when his image starts to crumble and when how black people start to be like, we don't like what the fuck Bill Cosby doing. He's starting to be holier than thou, self-righteous, and then motherfuckers is talking about you raping. And then it starts to be this rumble that everybody knew it was kind of in Hollywood, but nobody kind of talk about it because you knew, honey, you could lose your job. But then it started to bubble up. Different people was saying it and saying things. Other comedians was joking, and it just bubbled up into this big old thing. And everybody was coming out of the woodworks like, yes, he did that to me. I remember girls saying like, I thought I was the only one for years, for decades. And his victims is like, yeah, he got this good guy image, but I'm telling y'all, that ain't the real him. He ain't who y'all think he is. But yes, it was a great documentary. I think it was fair and it was balanced. And I think it was done so well because a 70s black man directed this. Um, Kwamu Bell, is that how you say his name? The guy from Shades of America, the comedian, and he was a comedian. So Bill Cosby was the standard. So he has a love for Bill Cosby that only only a black male straight comedian, particularly a blurred comedian like Mr. Bell, could have. I'm interested in his wife's point of view. I feel like Camille's position in this whole fiasco is the most interesting. Camille, when there is some images of Camille. First of all, how everybody said they never met her, like she never was around. But then when the allegation starts, he bringing her out in front of the camera. He bringing her out and my wife, blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh my god, and, but she has the most. I want him. I want her to outlive him, and when she gets all his coins, I want her to do a fucking special. I want her to fucking do a Oprah interview, and she spill all the beans. Cause it's a couple of things that I'm still curious about. It's a couple of things that I'm still curious about. Curious about. So you did this to all these women. This is what I believe. Ain't nobody get pregnant. Nobody. You wasn't raw dogging none of them. Nobody got pregnant. That's interesting to me. I hate when men parade their wives out when they have to atone for their transgression. Weakest shit ever. Yes, it's the first indicator that you're guilty for me. Oh shit, I never thought about that. You feel what I'm saying? Like all these bitches you fucking getting high fucking and nobody got a pregnancy. Nobody got a pregnancy out of the deal. It was a threat. For no secret baby to turn up. Ain't that's a super curiosity to me. Unless, but in a lot of the cases that I heard, he did use a condom. I did hear a lot of them were like the ones that remember the actual penetration. I did hear stories about condom use, but I'm not 100% for sure. I don't know. It's kind of extra to me. He was trying to sting Cosby, but I don't know if he even really cared about the victims really. Who? The director? I don't know. I feel like he gave the victims a lot of shine. But I feel like it needed to be balanced, and I think it was balanced. He showed you Cosby's legacy. He showed you the adoration. He showed you why he was brilliant. He praised him. Now he's probably Chloe's dad. um, um, and then he showed you the the negative side. Hannibal Buress, the comedian that out Cosby in his stand up. Oh, okay. Um, no. I don't think Hannibal Buress cared about the victims. there is a swath of I don't think I've said swath before. You know how you say words that you don't usually use? There was a swath of comedians that didn't like Cosby because he was a self-righteous, arrogant prick, and he would call them and complain about shit that they were doing. They laid it out that Eddie Murphy was one of them. Um, you know what I'm saying? It's a handful of comedians that while they recognize his genius, they realized that Cosby was a fucking asshole, a arrogant asshole that would complain about them cussing, just ain't shit ass motherfucker that was talking shit about their work. And yeah, Hannibal Buress, I don't think he was cared about the victim. I think he was more using it as a shake. And I think he said that he was using it more as I'm just talking shit about Cosby. But I'm talking shit about Cosby based on shit that I know through the industry. He's known as a fucking rapist. Chloe is from the Caucasus Mountains. That lady is white. Folks tried dragging Chris cat facts receipts. Honey, Chris ain't worried about them. But yeah, if y'all have Showtime, make sure y'all check it out. All that kind of good stuff. Hey, Diamond, are you looking great? Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love this outfit. This is a cute outfit. I love it. It has this cute ass face on the front. It's a look. It has pockets. It forms. It shows your booty. It is so cute. Isn't it cute? I love it. I love a dress with pockets. It is so cute. I love the mixed prints. Yes, I do too. It's so cute. I love it. I got this from this stylist named Jay Bolin. Very comfy and comfortable. And I love these. These are my current new favorite earrings. My exclamation points. I love them. And I love me a old nasty page boy hat. Like to wear it with back too, like that was, give a little lift. But yeah, I got it from this stylist called Jay Bolin. He's like my new fave. So what do y'all want to talk about? He probably manipulated and gaslight her like crazy. Probably as far as Camille, yes, definitely. Yeah, he stays. And they reasonably priced. He be having some cute ass shit. I be feeling it. I got a bunch of his pieces. If you follow me on TikTok and on Instagram, Diamond Styles, I usually post my fashion stuff on there. It's cute. Make sure you comment and like and share. he goes for the he's the go-to for the cute and covered church lady. Yes. Where you want to be fashionable, but you don't want to be fashion over fashion to figure girl naked. Classy. Do you see the video India I reposted about Joe Rogan? I have not. I am. But no, I don't. Honey, Joe Rogan, child. That is, I'm not listening to no white men. I don't keep up with their foolishness. Only reason why I'm kind of listening to what he got going on is because he has a podcast and there's some kind of weird thing happening with him and Spotify. And I like to know what's happening, like Joe Button, like when Spotify was being weird to him. I like to know what's happening because I have a podcast and I need to know what's going on. Do you think Kawamu Bell was trying to clout chase with Cosby documentary, or he thought the conversation was necessary? I thought he I think the conversation is necessary, and I think that he was the perfect person to do that documentary. Um, this expands his career, so I don't want to any. It's like me telling you that the work that I'm doing, me contributing to my work, I'm trying to get my work out here. So there's a level, but I don't think it's clout chasing. We all are trying to do interesting content creation. He's just doing it on this big old level with doing documentaries. But he is the perfect person because he's a black man, he is a comedian, and he deals with race and gender in a particular type of progressive way in the rest of his work. So this was perfect for him. I don't think anybody could have done this more perfectly than him. She posted a montage of him using the N word. Off subject, could you do a fashion review of plus size clothes you purchased from African and European designers? Interesting. So I do have a lot. I can't say when, but yes, I will. Um I don't know if I'll do it in review form, but I don't really like videos like that of as far as clothes, and I don't have my setup how I want it to do as far as to do that kind of video that I would like. Like, what I would love to have is like where I put it's my setup is over here, and I would love to have like a pretty ass gold rack where the outfits are hanging up on the gold rack. I haven't bought that yet. I'm gonna do, but I haven't thought about doing it. But I haven't had. There's a chair that I want. It's a look that I want to go for when I start doing actual clothing hauls and reviews. Um, and I don't have the stuff yet. I'm I'm trying to. I got trips I'm trying to go on, and so my money, and I'm not rich, so I have to balance my money. And I'm trying to go to Paris, and when I go to Paris in April, I want to have some coins. So I'm kind of just being real tight on my coins right now because I can't afford to do what I want to do in my house and setting my house up and my Paris stuff. So yeah, we'll see. But yes, I'm getting my Instagram and my TikTok. I am slowly but surely switching those to more fashion based um content. Um Anybody else doing it would be viewed as skewed automatically as invalid as coming for the black man. Yes, absolutely. You are right, Thrifty. I think I think that's totally right. I think he's a black male comedian and how he did it. He it was balanced. He showed his impact and how amazing he was and all his contributions. It was balanced. He showed the negative and the positive. Um, but yes, I said that the image, he cared about the advancement of the black male image, but he didn't care about women past their utility. He used women from a sexual objectification way to overpower them, that to his career, the women that he used, his wife Camille, you need to be seen and not heard, not even seen. You stay home and take care of the kids, and I provide. Don't nobody even need to see you. And that's what she did. But money and power, I say this on Twitter, money and power exacerbated the chasm between the two character traits living in that one person. So he had this amazing, brilliant mind when it comes to making power moves with his money and power when it comes to the image of Black people. He was brilliant, but he was simultaneously just as brilliant as at doing great horrors, like doing this disgusting stuff. You see what I'm saying? And hiding it and protecting himself from the consequences of that. He wasn't a dumb man. To protect his image, that's why he would attack reporters and anybody that he had the power to get them to stop talking negative about him. He would wield his power. He would wield his power. That's what it is. And so, unlike other people who don't have the money and power to do these amazingly great things. You know what I thought, Brittany? I said, what if Camille is a victim too? There's nothing, no evidence to say this. But what if she was the one that got pregnant? Honey, he drugged her, raped her. She woke up and like, damn, did I fuck Bill Cosby? Shit, I don't even remember. But shit, I'm pregnant. And he was like, well, why don't I just marry you? I was thinking that. I was like, what if, honey, she was the one that did get pregnant? There's no, that's not based on anything. I just was imagining. I was like, wouldn't that be interesting? How did you? Because if you look at the people, it's such a wide range of people: Asian, Black, White, Latinx. And she was like, "Child, I'm living in the lap of luxury, baby." Oh, my nose is itching. They are doing the Color Purple musical. They're not redoing the movie. They're redoing the musical. Um, Taraji P. Henson is playing Suge Avery, which at first I was like, what? But then I saw her play that lady Carol Burnett's character in Annie, and she did really, really good musically. I was like, oh, you was giving it. It was cute. Um, Domingo, I don't know what his name was, but um, some Domingo. He's a gay actor. He's playing Mister. But the dude that play on Euphoria as Rue's counselor. Domingo something, I can't remember his name. Something Domingo or Domingo something. I just remember Domingo, but he's so cute. He's so handsome, but he's gay. I don't like that Haley is playing Nettie. I feel like Nettie should be played by a dark skinned woman, definitely. But because it's a musical, Coleman Domingo, yes. But because it's a musical, I think her voice puts her over. Her popularity and her voice put her over in that category. But yes, I think you know they did kind of boost up the light skin because even Nettie, not Squeak is fucking now she's biracial. She's a Filipino and Black girl because it's her. But Squeak was no, she was biracial. Ray Don Chong was biracial too, so maybe not. Maybe I'm just tripping and overthinking it. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But Ray Don Chong was biracial too, so Black and Hispanic. It's biracial in the book. Yeah, so I mean that works then. I forgot. Yes, so that works. I do think Nettie should have been dark. I think it was important for her to be dark. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but I think that because it's musical, I think they are trying to do that. Ray Dong Chong stayed trying to keep her foot on Oprah's neck. Girl, give it up. What's that tea? I must have missed some tea. I haven't been paying attention to Ray Dong Chong. I don't know that tea. What's that tea? Mm. Hey, Royal, how are you? Yeah, I don't remember her beefing with Oprah, but I don't put it past anybody. I never knew that. Mm-mm, I didn't know. Doo-doo-doo. But yeah, Coleman Domingo. When queer men play straight men, it always not. I think he's a good actor, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be good. But when queer men play straight men, I be feeling kind of like I know you get done in your butt, so it's hard for me to believe this. She always be shit talking Oprah. Look it up. Oh wow, I didn't know. What she mad at Oprah about? Fantasia is Sealy. Mm, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird to me. Imagine, I don't know, the age range between Fantasia and Nettie. I mean, and Haley. Nettie and Sealy wasn't too far from each other's age, and Nettie was older, right? Or was it? I can't remember who was older, but they weren't too far from each other. Um, Coleman could be a top. You need to watch. There's an interview with Coleman and Nika Noni Rose. Now I don't know, but yeah, but that's such a big age range. Nettie and Celie wasn't that far from each other. Imagine Haley and Fantasia as sisters. That's weird. Coleman husband is white. Yeah, I don't. You know, that's very thespian, honey. I think they're 1 to 2 years apart. Yeah. How old is Fantasia? Oh, how old is Fantasia? Let me see how old is Fantasia. She got to be 35. How old is Fantasia? 37. How old is Haley Bailey? 21. Girl, you almost 40. And talk about you, this girl's sister. Girl, what? I don't know about all that. That's a little far. And y'all look it'd be different if y'all look similar in age. Girl, no. I think Anika Noni Rose should have played Nettie. The energy stays sleeping on her. She's a powerhouse. She is. I don't know what the tea is, but Nettie and Celie might have been months apart. You know, back in the day, they popped them out back to back. Narcissists and sociopaths are usually super intelligent and creative, so they're even better at hiding their dirt. Mhm. I think casting is trolling us. Definitely. Uh, Definitely. Yeah, that don't make sense at all. You got Suge Avery, what you got is 52. How old is Taraji P. Henson? 51. Okay. Damn, why is Megan Good looking so light skinned? What is this shit, man? She looking gray as hell. Girl, what? Like she bleaching, girl. What's the tea? Come on, you can't be. Now I know, I'm a light skinned girl, so I can't really speak on why folks bleach and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like, come on, you get Megan Good is known as one of them iconic, beautiful black girls that the dudes be talking about, like talking about how gorgeous they are. So you ain't missing no niggas, girl. Why the fuck is you bleaching, girl? If she is, I don't know if she is or not, but girl, the niggas love you. Leave it alone. I'm waiting to see Danielle Brooks or Sophia with Fantasia too. I think that might be an unexpected dynamic. Yes, that's going to be amazing. Oh, child. I'm probably not going to see it until way after. Isn't she going through a divorce? Well, she is, but that's a picture pre-divorce. Ooh. Can you feel the love tonight? Tonight. It is where you are. Oh, I love this picture. This is Amaya Scott when she was 17. Word. Mm-hmm. Looks so cute. Yeah, she is gorgeous. She's always been beautiful. Hmm. Face card never decline, baby. Go through, baby. Swipe it. Mm. But all right, y'all. It's gonna be last 15 minutes. What y'all want to talk about before I hit it? It's been 2 hours and 14 minutes. What else? What have we not discussed that's hot in the streets? Do y'all like Nicki Minaj's new song? I don't like it. I like the visual. She looks singing in the video, but the song ain't hitting on nothing. I don't know what's going on. Excuse me. I don't know what's going on with me and music, but whatever's going on with these rap girls, they are not giving me what I need in regards to a bop that I can dance to, a bop that I can feel, and some lyrics I could be like, yes, bitch. It's giving me. I just don't like the song. Like I like the visual. She looks good, but I don't know. I don't like it. I liked Chung Lee and Barbie Tings. I liked the Queen album. The Queen album was my shit. The Queen album, her songs, her singles from the Queen album, I really liked. I liked Chung Lee. I loved Barbie Teens, and what was the one where she was talking about all the niggas in the industry with the puppets? I love that song. Um, yeah, yeah, but this song I didn't like it. I swear Nikki said she was retiring. Did she? Barbie Dreams, yeah. Um, yeah, I just didn't like the song. It didn't slap for me. It wasn't giving me. I'm not repeating no lyrics. I'm not. The beat ain't making me twerk. It ain't giving me no vibe. It's just not doing what I needed to do. And I wanted to do what I needed to do because I don't want to say I'm a barb, but I'm kind of a barb. I like Nicki. Don't get me wrong. I am not somebody that is anti Nicki Minaj. I like Nicki. She do some weird stuff though. With her rapist brother and her rapist husband. Girl, you who you defending? It's kind of weird, but you know, you should stuck with Safari, goofy ass. If you got to deal with all of this bullshit. Child, I don't want to give some. I never have. I know people love to act like Safari was writing her shit, but I don't put that on. I don't put that. I don't give him that much power. Why he ain't writing him a hit? I don't know what you came to do, but I come to praise the Lord. I'm over all of these features. Yeah. Her features used to be her features used to slap. Remember Monster? That was one of my favorite. That was one of my favorite features of all time. Monster was slapping, man. And I don't like Trey songs, but even her part on Bottoms Up was fire. Her features used to be that tea. It's giving. That's cause you being with niggas. Why you ain't doing some hot shit with chicks? Do some hot shit with the chicks. We need a new well his ladies night. A new rap version of that. Not doing that song, but do a new whatever that vibe with a bunch of chicks on a rap song. Get all the hottest rap chicks and do a song, man. Like y'all bitches is not doing shit that's stupid to me. It don't make sense. All this. Dumb shit. They doing what I think trans artists do. I talked about this on my interview with Nina. I feel like everybody trying to be fucking Beyonce. Everybody trying to be a solo artist too soon. Like you need to start working and collabing with motherfuckers. One of the reasons why I think Megan career blew up so fast is because, honey, Megan was doing songs with Nicki, Cardi, everybody who was hot, she was doing numbers with. Man, WAP is the closest we will get. And that was only two of them. They should have did a they should have did like either a remix. That's another thing. We don't do enough remixes. We should put out a song and then do a remix. Who done did that before? That used to be hot. That used to be a thing to do. Where you will have a song that's hot and then you will hit them with a different version of it. Remember when Brandy did I wanna be down with what you're going through with her own R&B version, and then she said, "Bitch, I'm gonna do just the hook and bring the rapping chicks on and kill it." I like to see. I want to see that. I want to see more collaborations. Good, intelligent, smart, hot collaborations. Not just you being in the fucking video and doing, shit, barely 16 bars. I want a planned event. There's no way. First of all, WAP was annoying because there's no way that Lizzo shouldn't have been in WAP. I don't care what nobody say. That was a missed opportunity. Lizzo, not maybe even not in the fucking not on the song. She could have been on the song too, but Lizzo should have been in the WAP video. Period. That was a missed opportunity. But I think they were missing the opportunity because they knew that they were going to have a song later on. She should have been in the WAP video. That should have been the prelude to motherfucking Rumors or whatever that song was. It called Rumors? I think whatever that song was. I didn't like that song either. I will forever stand Brandy. She remixed well, lives as well. Yeah. No, I disagree. WAP was perfect. I agree that she should have been in the video instead of Kylie. Well, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not tripping them. I could, honey, they could have did a remix and had some other bitches on the song. But definitely in the video. Lizzo would have killed being in the video. That just was a whole different situation. Wide back Lizzo needs to sit down. That sounds like fat phobia to me. My back is wide, but I don't care if you think it's wide. But yeah, that sounds like fat phobia. Lizzo isn't doing anything any other bony bitch is doing in the industry. And if you think she is, it's because you don't like fat people. Yeah, the Lizzo and Cardi song. Yes, you can be fat and fat phobic, just like you can be anti-black and black, just like you can be um a patriarchal woman who is oppressive to women. Light skin Keisha. That I think that's weird. Light skin Keisha, the name light skin Keisha is weird in the same way that mulatto was weird. That name is weird to me, but I don't know. Cash Dog, Meg Ryan, and Cardi B. Skinny girls damn near show labias at this point. So Lizzo can do what she wants. Right. Flo Millie. I do like her song. I recently listened to a song from her that was hot. I can't remember what it was, but it was hot. Flo Millie. Who else do I like? I like Rico Nasty. I like Doja Cat. Doja Cat does that kind of rappy sing songy thing. I like Doja Cat. Doja Cat songs be fire to me. You know, she got some colorism shit with her, but her songs be kind of hitting. Hmm. Who else? Doja. As far as rappers, hmm, she's also a good performer. Who? Doja Cat, yes. I like Doja Cat's versatility. Yes. She'll give you a pop number, then she'll give you a nasty rap song. I really think if Doja plays her cards right, she can be the next level huge. I think Doja Cat, people don't like when I say this, but I think the closest to mimicking um, and repeating a similar career of Missy Elliott is Doja Cat. As far as versatility of what they can do, because when we think of who is giving cute ass songs with futuristic visuals like Doja Cat, that's what Missy bag was. Missy, when she was in her bag, like when she was doing her thing, Missy always sing that song that'll make you dance or move, that had a vibe. And she had videos that were crazy and futuristic, and you get what I'm saying? They were always had some kind of element of strange, weird shit. That's Doja Cat. What in this era, that's what Doja Cat does. Doja always got a cute ass song that got some type of vibe in the video that's like, ooh, this is interesting. But I mean, ooh, I do like Chica. I like Chica. I do like Chica's rap. Rap, she can really rap. I love when she flows. Ooh, I like Chica. She's really good. Missy produced dope songs too for her and others. I agree. Doja is super versatile and gives a show with a drag perspective. Yeah, I really like her. I think her nerdiness, I think her blurredness is what gives her that kind of edge because she got so many things that she's into that she can pull from that Asian little anime culture to so many things, video game shit. No name. I don't really know them like that. I know them more as a Twitter personality. I don't really know if I ever heard them actually rap or a song by them. People don't want to see it because the comparison, because she's skinny and light skinned and don't want to take away from Missy. Yes, Thrifty. That's why I don't be arguing with people. We know the place that Missy has, but honey, they do. She's in the vein that Missy was. Like as far as good visuals, good songs, creative visuals, singing and rapping. Cause no, Because Missy wasn't no fucking Whitney Houston singer, but she could sing, harmonize, and hold a tune. And that's the same thing with Deja, Doja Cat. Doja ain't no powerhouse singer, but she can sing and hold a tune. Suki Hana, I don't really like Suki Hana's rapping, but I just want her to be a star. I just want to see more of her visual. I think she is. I want to see Suki on reality TV. She is on reality TV, but I want to see her on. I don't know, something reality TV. Yeah, I want her. Asian doll. I'm not really into her. She seems like cishet trash. Um, I do like, what's that other girl name? Is it Cash Doll? I do like Cash Doll. Um, I'm done with Suki Hana after the incident. Yeah, I unfollowed Suki after I think the Dave Chappelle situation. Because sometimes I feel like people can just shut the fuck up. Like even if you agree with something and this ain't your lane, sometimes you can just shut the fuck up. But some people just feel like, oh, I gotta say something about this because I want to share my opinion. And sometimes when your opinion is trash, I'll be like, all right, I'm out. And Sugihana was one of them. I still want to see her on something. I still want her to succeed, of course. I still want to see her on reality TV. She has that personality, and I know, you know, she has that whatever um um whatever God, why is it's right on my whatever Cardi B had prior to fame on Instagram, whatever that personality that you can't make up. Like it's certain people that have personalities that are just star personalities. Just like Cardi B, Suki is like that. Suki is funny. She is hilarious. And I think that if we put her on a really, really good, a more, I don't know if good, but I don't know if that's the word. But if we put her on charisma, yes, that's the nice word. But it's more than charisma. Mm, it's more than charisma though. The it factor, yes, that she just has. It's just, and it comes natural. It's not like I'm putting on to do this. It's natural, honey. She could just cut the camera on and it's there. Suki has that, and if she, if she's getting a situation like Cardi B did in a good je ne sais quoi, yes. Um, if she get in a situation like a really popular reality TV spot, because I don't think Miami was as popular as like New York. Miami, Love and Hip Hop. I don't think it was as popular as New York. Maybe I'm just tripping, but I feel like New York was like a perfect spring off. If she get into something like that, I think it'll be fire. Now, colorism does play a role, so she might not have those opportunities. But I don't know. She has what I seen in Cardi B prior to Bodak Yellow and that shit. I see it in Suki. But yeah, I definitely when she was coming out in support of Dave Chappelle, child, I unfollowed. I didn't block her or nothing, but I unfollowed. If I run across a video, I'll like it, but I'm not gonna be one of the bitches in your number pool. You got to be smart enough to know to shut the fuck up, though. Yeah, and that's one of them situations. I'm like, you ain't even got no horse in this race. I don't know. It just feels weird. Like most black dudes is talking shit about you, Suki, unless they horny freaks. You- Mm. All right, y'all. That strip says is about over. Jocelyn could have made a bigger mark too, but she did similar to Suki. Jocelyn shouldn't have left Atlanta, hip hop Atlanta. She shouldn't have left. She was stupid. Yeah, she went on to do other stuff like with Stevie and da 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 da, but she should have stayed under that Mona Scott, is it Mona Scott Young bag. She should have stayed there. But all right, y'all. I will chat with y'all sometime this week. But yes, make sure you thumbs up. Make sure you check out Bill Cosby's, not Bill Cosby's, W. Kwame Bell's, Mr. Bell's documentary on Bill Cosby. It was really good. It was powerful. It taught me a lot on the history of Bill Cosby. It was very fair and balanced, and taught me a lot on history of other people. Not even just Bill Cosby. Some of the stuff that other people did too, and marks that they had. So check it out and tell me. Come back to this video and tell me what y'all think. Um, yeah, thumbs up, and I will see y'all later. Bye bye.